Salamun alaikum and welcome to another episode of Quranists Responses to Critics on Quranist Network Television, QNet TV. Today is a very special episode, Abdullah Al-Andalusi, part 1. I feel sure there will be parts 2 and 3. It's special because I've actually met Abdullah in the flesh at his debate last week at the School of Oriental and African Studies, SOAS, in London. Um, during that debate, Abdullah expounded upon his solution to Islamic reform. What are our next steps? And obviously, I fundamentally disagreed with him. Um, the thing to note is that Abdullah is a highly intelligent, highly well-read gentleman, absolutely charming, and I believe his knowledge of Western traditions is amazing. But what I find disconcerting is the fact that he does not train his eye in the same way on traditional Islam. Because if he did, it would be impossible for him to accept the authority of traditional Islam, in my opinion. So before we continue, so Abdullah, I must tell you that Allah says in chapter 4, verse 58, وَإِذَا حَكَمْتُمْ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ أَن تَحْكُمُوا بِالْعَدْلِ. When you judge between the people, judge fairly. So if you have critiques towards Western traditions, that's brilliant, that's fine. But also use the same techniques towards Sunnism, and you will find that Sunnism has deep problems. Chapter 4, verse 135, Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O ye who have believed, Kunu kawamina bil qist, shuhada'a lillah, walau ala anfusikum. Be upholders of justice and witnesses to Allah, even over yourselves. So even if we have mistakes, we should bear witness against ourselves. That's how just Muslims should be. So I humbly advise you about this. Another thing I must ask you as well, during that debate, you did not provide references. I think once you may have, chapter 4, verse 88, or if that verse occurred to me while you were speaking about it, I can't remember. But as a whole, you did not provide references. You quoted the Quran says, the Quran says, the Quran says, but you did not provide references. This is not good for Muslims like myself. We are lay people. We don't know what if the Quran actually says this, and we don't know where to look. So it's good if you provide references. So let me talk about Abdullah's solution. Abdullah's solution is that we need the Islamic State. The Islamic State will take us in the direction as willed by Allah. I fundamentally disagree with that. I believe the Islamic State has proven through history that it is not a solution for mankind, let alone Muslims. So now we've continued the debate on Facebook, and I have made a kind of summary of points which we need to address in order for us to continue the discussion. So the first point is that Abdullah agrees that the Sharia isn't divine. He says only Allah is divine. However, for him, the fact remains that because Allah mentioned Sharia as divine law in the Quran, and the Prophet confirmed it in Hadith about ijtihad, which we'll deal with soon, it's therefore mandatory on us. Now, here's the thing. Is Sharia, as mentioned in the Quran, does it mean divine law? I contend it does not mean divine law in the Quran. Have a look at chapter 42, verse 13. شَرَعَ لَكُم مِّنَ الدِّينِ مَا وَصَّى بِهِ نُوحٌ وَالَّذِي أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ وَمَا وَصَّيْنَا بِهِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَمُوسَى وَعِيسَى أَنْ أَقِيمُوا الدِّينَ وَلَا تَتَفَرَّقُوا فِيهِ. شَرَعَ لَكُم. So we ordained for you. If you want to use the word ordained, yeah, okay. Some translations say we made us law for you. Min ad-din, from ad-din, what we ordained on Nuh, and we inspired to you, and what we ordained on Ibrahim and Musa and Isa, to establish a deen and not make any divisions. So if you say Sharia is divine law, then Rasulullah did not bring a new Sharia, because he is following the Sharia of Nuh, Ibrahim, Musa, and Isa, and Aqimuddin, to establish a deen. You see, so there is no new Sharia for Prophet Muhammad. That goes against the Quran. The next ayah is chapter 5, verse 48, which basically shows us that each of us has a shir'ah. Let's see what it says. وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ بِالْحَقِّ, and we descended to you the book in truth. مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ, confirming what is between his two hands from the book. The book is very centered around the book. وَمُحَيْمِنًا عَلَيْهِ, and guardian over it. So the book is guardian over it. فَأَحْكُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ, so judge between them with what Allah has sent down. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا أَهْوَاهُمْ, and do not follow their lusts. Judge with the book of Allah. Don't follow the lusts. There's no sunnah in between, yeah? Book of Allah, don't follow the lusts. So there we can see. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا أَهْوَاهُمْ أَمَّا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ, don't follow their lusts when comes to you from the truth. لِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مِنْكُمْ شِرْعَةً وَمَنْهَاجٍ, for each of you we have given a shir'ah and manhaj. Who are the qawm here? لِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مِنْكُمْ, sorry, yeah? So who are the qawm here? The Prophet is judging. He's judging his people, and Allah says, each of you we have given a shir'ah wa manhaj. So Sharia is not divine law. Sharia is something personal to each individual. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ, and if Allah had willed, لَجَعَلَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً, He would have made you a single people. وَلَكِنْ لِيَبْلُوَاكُمْ فِيمَا أَتَاكُمْ, instead He wishes to test you from what He has given you. He's given people different things, so He wishes to test you with it. فَأَسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ, so strive towards the good. إِلَى اللَّهِ مَرْجِئُكُمْ جَمِيعًا, to Allah is your goal, all of you. So now suddenly all of you comes in. Earlier it was each of you. Each of you gets a shir'ah, but all of you are striving to Allah. So can you see the difference? Shir'ah is not Sharia or divine law. Shir'ah is something else. We'll see in a minute what Shir'ah is. فَيُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ فِيهِ تَخْتَلِفُونَ, and He will inform you with what you have deferred. Because your shir'ah is different. You have deferred, Allah will inform you. In the meantime, strive towards all that is good. Sharia is not divine law. It's not. Let's see what it is. Have a look at chapter 7, verse 163, where another derivative of the root shara'a appears. You can see if ta'tihim hitanuhum yawma sabtihim shura'an, when this is talking about the people by the ocean, when comes to them their fish yawma sabtihim, on the so-called day of Sabbath, shura'an. Now what does shura'an mean? Shura'an means that they come close to you so as you can see their heads sticking out from the water. That is shura'an. So you can see shir'ah is something which comes close to you, something which is disclosed to you. You can see it. Each of you have a different shir'ah. Sharia is not divine law. As usual, traditional Islam has twisted the language for Sharia to mean what it's not. Furthermore, there is a word for law, divine law, and that is hukum. Allah says in chapter 5, verse 43, وَكَيْفَ يُحَكِّمُونَكَ وَعِنْدَهُمْ التَّوْرَاتِ, and how can they make you a judge when in their sight is at-Tawrat, fiha hukum Allah. So in at-Tawrat is hukum Allah. Why isn't it Sharia? There's no Sharia there, it's hukum Allah. So hadith is actually using a different vocabulary from the Quran now. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ, and another ayat, ayat 44, the next ayat, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. That's talking about at-Tawrat, by the way. Whoever does not judge with what Allah has descended, he is from the disbelievers. So Allah uses them yahkum, yahkum as the verb to judge, and fiha hukum Allah, the law of Allah. In fact, yuhakkimunaka in 543 is also to make you a judge. So Sharia is not divine law. Sharia in the Quran has a different meaning. Right. I think we will close this particular video because the next bit is pretty long. Inshallah, we will see you in Quranists Responses to Critics, Abdullah Al-Andalusi, Part 2. Many thanks for your viewership. Abdullah, I hope you're watching this, and I hope I came across clearly. If I did not, please feel free to respond in FB to me. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.